We are live. Welcome to the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at Live on That Swing. My co-host today, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Jared, otherwise Mac on Twitter, also at AZ Sports Fiend, and we're here to help with the podcast. I'm ready to go.
The official Season 2, which doesn't really make any sense because this is the third season we've been doing this, or tried to do it, but whatever. What we're hoping for is we have a decent variety of hosts, whether that's intentional or not. Better graphics, better audio.
Everything's better.
Everything is better. And we're just going to try to give you the premier product for this season. First things first, set the stage. There wasn't any preseason, obviously. So this game was our first introduction to the new look 2020 Cardinals. Prior to this, Buddha got an extension, 4 years, $59 million. Hopkins got a 2 years extension, so he'll be here for 5 years. Going into this game, there was question as if this was even going to happen in Cali, because if you'll remember, the air quality, entering the game, was 170 or some shit, just absolutely abysmal because of those California wildfires. Just terrible. And I'm glad it happened. Kind of fucked up that it did happen in Cali, but I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, it was so bad that 49ers running back Jerick McKinnon wasn't able to even participate in Thursday's practice because their quality was over 150. High risk. He's high risk, so he wasn't even able to practice, but he still played on Sunday.
And also, because of the protests over the summer and the protests in the spring, there were demonstrations during this weekend, which I support. I'm going to just put my cards on the table here. I support them. I dig them, I think that they are, if you have a platform, you have to use it in this sort of scenario. And in the Cardinals, they did use their platform. They stayed in the locker room for the anthem. And I am very proud that they did that. Should we get started on the game, or just talk about the game?
Do it.
So the Cards won the coin toss and they deferred. They kicked the ball off, and right away, right as I'm watching, I'm getting 2019 vibes because the Niners are driving down the field. We're getting bad penalties. Isaiah Simmons had a particularly heinous penalty on Kittle. Now, I know it's Isaiah Simmons' first game as a Cardinal. I know that, preseason wasn't something that he participated in because he didn't have the chance to. But he just looked really rough out there on Sunday. And I can see why he got the number of snaps he did. What do you think?
Yeah, it was obviously a welcome to the NFL type of game for him. It was kind of understandable with all the responsibility he has, matching up one-on-one with tight ends, running backs out of the backfield. So he wasn't really used to that type of speed. So hopefully we'll see a different change in his play starting with week 2. Maybe they can ease him in a little bit more. Yeah, he did have only 18 snaps. That was a great call by Vance Joseph. He wasn't ready, and he saw it, and he took him out early. And that was a big reason why we were able to come back in that game, I believe.
Regarding the speed of it all, the first touchdown of the game was a run by, who was it? Not Jerick McKinnon. It was Mostert. Mostert had
a little pass
out of the backfield, and right? Somebody noted on Twitter that was the same run that we got beat on, where the Niners got the game winner in Phoenix last year.
Beat Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones.
Chandler
and
Jones
Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons was on the receiving end of that this year. So, they've got a speedy backfield. So I think Simmons was out of his element. I think he's got a little bit of learning to do. I think he's still got promise, but I think that as far as debuts go, that this was a really, really weak debut. Anyway, off topic. So I'm getting flashbacks to that because we're not stopping them. We have a miracle fucking stop on third down, and they go up 3-0. Our offense is playing hyper conservative. They don't really move down the field, so we get a 3 and out. And of course, there was a touchdown after that on the next drive because of the Isaiah Simmons play. I'm speeding through this shit.
You're all good.
It was a very long game, but it's a very uneventful one. Cards went 3 and out yet again. And just as I'm starting to lose hope, and just as I'm posting Justin Timberlake, zoom into the camera memes on fucking Twitter, a fucking miracle happens. We get a 3 and out on that third Niners drive, and, we're about to punt. And I'm thinking to myself, man, wouldn't it be funny if they just blocked the punt here? And they did. Fucking Zeke Taylor blocked the punt. Dennis Gardeck picked it up and got us to their 10-yard line, which was outstanding. I fucking like yelled at that. I was yelling. I was hooping. I was hollering. What do you think of that, man?
Oh yeah, we all were. Yeah, that was a huge momentum swing right there. With the ball, if we get the ball right there off that punt, and let's say we go 3 and out again, the Niners get a little bit more field possession. But we were able to make a huge play on special teams. Such a far way away from those Amos Jones days with Bruce Arians, and our special teams was big there. That was huge.
And the very next play, Chase Edmonds gets a touchdown on a little flip to him from Kyler Murray. And a stat I saw, recently was that we are undefeated in games where Chase Edmonds, gets a touchdown. So what we need to do every game going forward is hand chase the ball so we go undefeated.
Hey, yeah, I'm all in. Oh yeah.
So after that it's 10-7 Niners. On the following drive, our new sign Angela Blackson, is that that's the guy from the Texans, right? He gets a sack on Jimmy G. Devin Kennard was there with the pressure, and Cards forced another 3 and out. After that, we got another 3 and out. After that, the next drive, Cards, they're having trouble covering Kittle, and the Niners drive down to the 10. As the first quarter ends, the Niners were leading 10-7. I am rushing this. We have a pretty monumental stop at their goal line because we had them at their 10, and we sack them for a 7-yard loss. And then after that, McKinnon gets damn near close to the fucking goal line. So it's 4th and goal at the 1, and I'm sitting there, I'm dreading it. It's like, oh boy, this game's gonna get out of hand this early, huh? And to my surprise, and I think to the surprise of many others, the Cards got the stop at the 1-yard line. So then my next thought is, oh shit, now they're going to get a safety on us. And but no, I mean, after that we hand it off to Kenyon. He gets a decent gain. DeAndre Hopkins has a really outstanding 3rd down conversion. Like, he held onto that ball.
That was the possession, I believe, where Hopkins got the first down off the bat. And then Fitz got a first down, all on 3rd down, and then again Hopkins on 3rd down. That's the epitome of Cardinal football now. Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald all day long.
I saw an article. Yeah, this is from the Defector, which was once Deadspin. Love that shit. They do an annual piece called "Why Your Team Sucks." And I always eat that shit up because I am a sucker. I'm a glutton for punishment. I love reading what people have to say about our team. And, the writer for that, he's talking about Larry Fitzgerald, and he's like, I'm tired of this retirement campaign. I'm tired of having to hear about a guy who, averages 0.7 yards per catch or some shit. And it's like 4 for 30. I mean, even that's still better than what I was thinking of, man. Like, shit. The fact that, he is still producing that well in this stage of his career. Like, that doesn't sound like much to any Joe Schmo on the street. Oh, yes, 4 for 34. That's nothing. I could do that. But to be doing that in your late 30s, that's at this point in his career, Jerry Rice was, I don't think he was even averaging that per game.
And he also had I believe Hopkins had a holding call too. Otherwise, Larry had like a 15-yard gain down the left sideline, if I remember correctly. Made some nice spin move, juke, and got 15 yards. But I believe Hopkins was called for holding on that, so that was called back. Or he would have 5 for something. But yeah, he's Mr. Reliable like always. You can go to him 24/7, and you better believe he's not going to drop that.
After that, we drive down the field and we unfortunately we stall out in their 30s. And Zane Gonzalez, who has been solid, who was an absolutely solid, kicker last year, misses his first attempt on the year. It was a 52-yarder. I think if it was even 1 inch closer, it would have been good.
Oh my God, it was so close. It was so close.
And after that, the Niners, they got a 3-and-out because our defense was really outstanding. Next drive, Kyler throws a pass, it gets tipped, and it's INT'd. And I think, unfortunately, even with his improvements, we're going to see that some this year. I think we're going to see sequences like that, and I don't think that's really in anybody's control. I think that's just going to be part of the experience, and I don't mind that. But I think it was a good look. I think it was just a bad ball placement, and he'll get better. He looked fine. I mean, I think he might have been eyeing his targets a little much, but when you have Hopkins and Fitzgerald, you can do that and get away with it. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that that'll definitely get better with time, but I also think that it's probably going to be a little rough for this year. After that, San Fran, they drive up the field, and our defense thankfully stops them in their tracks in our field position, in our territory. So they get a field goal. They're up 13-7 with 30 seconds left in the half. After that, we get the ball back and we have a monster drive. Edmonds gains 20 yards on a draw play. After that, we have 23 seconds. Cards get inside the 45 of San Fran and they pass it to Hopkins. Get a pretty solid gain. And the sequence of events, it's not much. It doesn't sound like much, but I think the way it was done was really something. So Hopkins is right near Larry. Larry tosses the ball to midfield, and they get it on the ground so that they can spike the ball, and they do it with just a couple seconds left. Zane Gonzalez makes his career-long 56-yard field goal to make it 10-13 at the half. Cards get the ball back at halftime.
Can we go back to that Larry play real quick?
Oh yeah,
that was such a heads up. That was such a heads up play by the Teacher Hall. He earned $11 million. Without that play right there, this game is a 1 point game at the end, and the Niners could kick a field goal to win it. But that play spiked with 2 seconds left because of Larry's heads up, and we're able to have to make San Francisco punch it into the end zone, which obviously Jimmy G's wasn't able to get it done.
The thing about Larry is and this often gets overlooked with your average fan these days because we haven't been on the right end of these. But in these clutch situations where he needs to make the right heads-up play, he absolutely does it. I think that I remember a couple of years ago, the Cardinals were playing the Bucs at University of Phoenix. I think this was the 8-8 year. Well, yeah, it was the 8-8 year because that was the week we signed Adrian Peterson, and everybody thought, everybody thought, oh yeah, shit, Adrian Peterson tore up against the Buccaneers. He's gonna be our guy. And it's like, no. But
right.
At the end of that game, the Bucs kick an onside, and Larry sees that there's a little over 2 minutes on the clock, runs around with it a little, and gets the ball and dives on the ball with under 2 minutes to go to make it so they have less time to work with. And I think that was a really heads-up play. And I think as this season goes along, I think we're going to see similar plays from him. I think Larry is a very heads-up kind of guy. I think he's very clutch.
Larry being Larry, as the old saying goes. He's basically a coach. He's basically a coach on the field. that goes unnoticed by a lot of people, but not by Cardinal fans. He's just one of the greatest of all time,
He's
if not
so
the greatest.
good, man. I love him.
I don't want him to ever retire. I want to see. We need to get him a fucking ring so he'll walk off in the sunset and go do his trips 24/7. Because you just tell in his voice when he talks about winning a ring. That's all he wants. That's all he wants.
I know that as much as I'd like him to retire a Cardinal, and as much as that I would love to see him in Canton as a Cardinal, I also know that I would not mind if he took 1 year to play for like the Chiefs or something, and just to get that ring, because he fucking deserves it, man. He's a real fucking trooper, man. He's so awesome. I know that's not going to happen. He's had the chance to do that for so many years now. He's not going to do it, but
yeah, he's a lifer.
If he did that, I would not be opposed.
Hopefully, we can get the ring for him here with Kyler, Cliff, and everyone within the next year or two. That would be
so nice.
Or no, anything can happen. It's 2020. Anything can happen.
Yeah. After that, we had a 3-and-out drive. The Niners took over, and Zach Allen gets his first sack of the year with the Reddick flying pressure. They get a 3-and-out. After that, we get the ball. Kyler gets us to his 20th
career. That was a huge sack. Yeah, his first sack of his career. That was beautiful.
Beautiful. And after that, next drive, there was a play with Kyler and Hopkins. That it was a little bit of miscommunication. I remember watching it at the time and thinking, man, I don't know how they blew that. That had to be like some absolute miscommunication. Kyler, threw it too early. I think Hopkins was trying to go for the fade, and I think Kyler threw it too early. I think that's one of those things that'll get better as the season goes along. I think, their communication throughout the game got better. But, I mean, that's one of those, little mental mistakes that in any other game could have cost us. We flipped the ball to San Fran. They drive to about their 43, and Reddick gets them to throw an incompletion and forces another 3-and-out.
That was a great play call by Vance Joseph, too, playing a little under zone. Reddick stayed in his spot, and the crossing route, which is usually an easy first down, gets stuffed before anything can happen. And that was a hell of a play call and a hell of a play by Reddick as well.
Absolutely. I've been kind of a doubter of Reddick for a while. I think he hasn't quite lived up to his potential, but I think he is still a solid role player on the Cardinal. I think he does his job. He does his job well, but I don't think he'll ever be, the guy on the Cardinals, and that's okay. But
yeah, he's definitely could be valuable. He could find a little niche, rushing the passer, playing a little zone. But yeah, he's not a guy you really want be clogging the middle with the big boys trying to be a run stopper. That's just not really him. They need to use his athleticism on the outside and up against running backs. But yeah, he can definitely carve out a little niche for himself, I believe.
Yeah. Following the game, going a little off topic here, I saw a lot of people compare Isaiah Simmons to Reddick in that, he's this college dynamo who can do everything that looks sluggish in the pros. And there was somebody.
I didn't hear that. I would have slapped the shit out of some Twitter user. I would have saw that on my timeline.
No, it was a Cardinals fan message board, I think.
Oh, okay.
And somebody said that they gave him too much of a workload. They should have had him, trying to stop the run, and they should have had him covering like Kittle on third downs or something. And I do agree that he did look out of his element. I think.
Yeah, a little hindsight, but yeah, Vance Joseph was on top of the game, and he pulled him when he had to, and he pulled him early, and it might have hurt Isaiah's confidence a little bit right there. But you gotta do what's best for the team, and winning football games is the best for this team right now.
Yeah, I hope it gets better with time. I hope he does improve, because as much as I have, stated that I didn't really like the pick, I do hope he blossoms, and I do hope he becomes a solid player. After that, the Cardinals, finished out the quarter with a 30-yard gain, well, thereabouts, to DeAndre Hopkins. The Cards deal with a 2nd and 21. Kyler gets a bit of a gain and draws another late hit. Kyler I've got to say he's improving his run game a lot. He was very proactive in his run game, and he played safe. He played smart. He was doing a lot of sliding. He was doing a lot of running out of bounds, and I think that the fact that he's aware of needing to do that, I think that's a solid trait to have as a running quarterback, especially of his size. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. We all want to see Kyler use his legs because that's what makes him so special. He's a good passer, but when he uses his arm and legs, he's damn near unstoppable out there. But yeah, we needed him to be safe, and him sliding, keeping his head on a swivel, going out of bounds when he needs to. That's exactly what we all want to see. I don't care about trying to get 3 extra yards, and hurt our chances at having a good season, because I know everyone's hyped about Strevler, but I do not want to see him in there for any longer than a play or 2 at a time, out of a wildcat or some sort of different formation.
And I think Kyler, as much as I praise his running game, I think he's also got his passing game basically set, because the thing you always see with these running quarterbacks is that they might be good runners, but their pass accuracy isn't always there. And I think that, can be really damning to certain quarterbacks. I know that was damning for, RG3. I know that was damning for, a lot of prospects. But as it stands right now, Kyler's got terrific pass accuracy. He's getting balls in the right places. It feels so cool to finally support a team that has the guy that everybody wants on their team. It's just so cool.
Oh yeah.
Going back to the running quarterback who can pass, I think that's what sets him up to be a threat later on in the game. Because as he gets older, when he gets to be in his 30s, assuming he's still playing in his 30s, let's hope, his running game will deteriorate, and I think when that happens, he'll be well suited enough to be just a prototypical passer. I think he is, as it stands. I think he is set for a long career. There was it was a video I watched once about Randall Cunningham, and it briefly discussed his evolution from the league's best running quarterback to the league's best passing quarterback, and I think that's something we could see with Kyler.
Like that, yeah, I agree. Yep, 100%.
The funniest thing to me is seeing Saints fans, for instance, talk about Taysom Hill as if he's still going to be a dual threat quarterback, and it's I'd agree if he was in his 20s, but this dude's 31 years old. He's not going to be able to run like that for much longer, man. Have we even seen enough of that guy to even know he can be a dangerous passer? I mean, shit.
Not at all.
Of course, the last time I made a prediction about a quarterback that was, a second stringer behind a pretty solid quarterback, it was about Patrick Mahomes, and I said that, raw quarterbacks are never good quarterbacks, and God, I was wrong about that. So,
you're man enough to own it.
Watch Taysom Hill get Super Bowl MVP, man. Shit. Anyway, that was a tangent. After the late hit, he fed Hopkins again for a first down, and the play after that, from the 25-yard line, Kyler Murray does a beautiful scramble, beautiful beeline to the goal line for a touchdown. And I've got to say, man, that felt so good. Oh my God, man. It is.
Oh yeah. Oh, we were screaming. My neighbors had to wonder what the hell was going on, but
oh my God.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was so quick, man. In the open field, his head's on a swivel. You're not gonna one-on-one. You're not gonna have a chance. And he made him burn.
And I think that's what makes these Cardinals so dangerous. I think that the fact that you have so many different threats that could be a factor. I think the fact that you have, well, shit, what if he throws downfield to Hopkins? What if he throws downfield to Larry? Oh, shit, no, he's right there. He's running down the sideline. Oh, shit, he just got a touchdown. And I think that is outstanding. I think the Cardinals have done a really good job procuring the talent necessary to be a threat on every play, to be a threat in any situation.
Oh, yeah.
And to always keep the defense guessing. I think that is amazing. We've never had that before, and that's awesome. So, of course, we get our first lead of the day with 10:26 left in the game. It was 17-13 Cardinals. After that, San Fran got the ball back, and their fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, I think I got that right, got a huge first down to the 40-yard line. After that, we forced Jimmy G out of the pocket for a PI, but Jordan got a really ugly defensive pass interference call, which gave them a 1st and goal. And that was a particularly blatant one, because it's just to do PI there of all places, just shit, man. That really took it out of it, man. I'm glad that it didn't take the wind out of our sails too much, but that was still really ugly. After that, 3rd and goal, McKinnon just walks right into the end zone on an out route, which made it a 20-17 game. With
another blown assignment by Simmons, it sounds like, or it looked like.
Yeah.
On McKinnon. Yeah.
Actually, I think, if I remember right, I don't know if I'm thinking of this play or the Mostert play, Simmons and Banjo were on the field. One of them was supposed to go inside, and the other was supposed to go outside, and they got their assignments mixed up.
Yeah, and, it looked like it was Simmons. Simmons went inside.
As the game went along, our defense got better, but there were still definitely snags.
Oh, yeah, they were bend but don't break almost all game. They were stout. Actually, I can't say that. They had a lot of 3-and-outs. More 3-and-outs than probably all last year combined, it felt like. But the defense looked good. Vance Joseph coached a hell of a game. Obviously, the Niners had 2 of their top wide receivers out. But nonetheless, you got to do that against that type of team on the road. You got to come out with a win like that, and we did.
After that, Kyler Murray goes into the next drive, and he starts to feed Hopkins. Hopkins starts looking like that fucking fat dude from that Monty Python skit, because he was just eating every fucking pass that he got, man. Him, Kenyon, and a first down run got us to the 1-inch line for a beautiful Kenyon Drake touchdown. And if I remember right, this was the drive where fucking Hopkins catches a 35, catches a little mesh, catches a mesh route.
Wide open.
Just absolute beautiful execution, and runs that shit 35 yards, and it was damn near to the house. They actually called.
They called it a touchdown.
They called it a touchdown, and then they looked at it and it was like, it's a little short. And
it was so fucking hype.
It was so fucking hype, man. So after that, Cardinals lead 24-20 with 5 minutes left to go. So the San Fran starts to drive. They shoot some of the clock.
One stop.
They shoot the clock down to 2 minutes. They get to our 30-yard line. They get another first down at the 20, minute 35. Clock's still ticking. Next play, Garoppolo floats it to the end zone, but P2 was executing some beautiful coverage, and that shit was incomplete. And I've got to say, just getting this out of the way, our defense on that last drive, I'm saying they were driving down the field, but especially towards the end of that drive, our defense was solid.
And Jimmy G looked like shit. There's no way around that. He had that touchdown. Peterson got beat on that with a ball that bounced off his helmet. If he throws that to the back pylon, that's 6 points right there. G was thrown duck.
They get a quick pass for a 5-yard gain on second down, but the clock gets down to 47 seconds. It's third down. Jimmy G escapes towards the pocket, throws towards the end zone again, but it's knocked away by Byron Murphy with 7 seconds left. San Fran tries for a 4th down conversion on an out route, but Byron Murphy saves the day with another deflection. Byron Murphy was solid in that final drive, man. He was just insane.
Redemption season for him. He got picked on a lot as a rookie, but you could tell that he's gonna be a big part of our defense. Someone that we need to step up, and he looked the part week 1.
After that, we ran out the clock and we won. That was our first season opener that we've won since 2015, and I've got to say, there is a lot of pain in that statistic, man. Oh my God, you got the blocked punt. Sorry, you got the muff snap.
Is that okay?
Against the Patriots, you got the David Johnson injury game. You got the worst Cardinals football game I've ever seen against Washington. There is so much pain. It is gone. It's so good to finally have an opening week win, man.
Hell yeah! So I believe it's the first time we've been over 500 since 2016 or 15 too. At any point in the whole season, I think 2015 was the last time. Yep.
So feels like it.
Win this week. Let's keep it going.
Some key stats. Kyler Murray went off. He was 26 for 40, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had 13 rushes for 91 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, career high, 14 catches on 16 targets for 152 yards. And here's a crazy stat. The Texans, who, traded him to us, and probably the most lopsided trade in NFL history, they only had 13 catches combined on Thursday night. So not regretting that.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks for being the worst GM in the NFL. Drake and Edmonds, they combined for 110 total yards and 2 TDs. Jimmy G had a solid stat line that did not at all reflect how his game felt. He was 19 for 33, had 259 yards for 2 TDs. I've got to say, man, he turned it around a little towards the end of that game, but I've got to say, he was looking rough in the parts that mattered most, man. He was awful in the clutch.
Yeah, that seems like a reoccurring theme with him. When he comes to the end and it means the most, it seems like he kind of shrinks. He did that in the Super Bowl, and he sure as hell did that on that last drive when they were needed a punch in the end zone.
I think as it stands, Jimmy G is just sort of an average quarterback. I don't think he has what it takes to be the guy. I think that he has, some decent aspects as a quarterback, and I don't ever think I'll ever see him as a de facto threat in a division where we have Russell Wilson. Raheem Mostert went off. He had 151 yards and a touchdown. Jaren McKinnon had 4 yards and a touchdown. Let's talk real quick about Zane Gonzalez. Zane Gonzalez had a really, really rough day. And if I didn't know his pedigree and I didn't know what he is capable of, I would say to cut him, because he just looked really rough out there.
Like you said, the first one he just barely missed. It was over 50 yards, and then even the second one was a 49-yarder. So I mean, it wasn't like he was Gostkowski out there missing extra points and everything on Monday night. Yeah. So yeah, he definitely deserves the benefit of the doubt. 3 field goals, at least 49 yards. You expect at least 1 miss out of those, and he missed 2. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Thankfully, it didn't come back and bite us.
Yeah. And I don't hate him. I don't think that he's a bad kicker, but I do think that those were costly, and that definitely could have cost us the game if he had missed any of them. Well, not any of them. If he had missed the one he made.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Niners had some fucking puzzling decisions throughout their game. Like I know that they couldn't see into the future and that they can't account for what's going to happen later. But the fact that they went for it on that fourth and goal at the 1.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't do that and they just kick the 3 and play it smart, they win the game, because their kicker's decent enough that he'll make a kick at the 20 to win the game. And I'm glad he didn't, but man, just really, really puzzling on their part. So let's get into. Should we do our predictions for the week?
I'll give a shout out to Budda Baker too. That game, 15 tackles, 10 solo tackles. That guy was all over the field. Without him, they were going to break a couple long runs. And that guy is just a fucking monster. I'm so glad he's on our team.
Absolutely. All right. Can I make a quick prediction, real quick?
But
everybody's ripping on Budda for not getting an interception. Justifiable. Kind of weird that he hasn't yet. I think the week he's going to get it is going to be against New York, because Sam Darnold is one of the most inaccurate passers I've ever seen. And I think if there was a quarterback to throw directly to Budda Baker, it'd be him.
Shit, it could be even this week with Haskins. If we get pressure on the young Haskins, I could see him lofting one up there.
So let's do some predictions for the coming week. As it stands, there's a game going on right now, so no real point in predicting Bengals-Browns, even if, I don't think I would even care if there was one. If it wasn't going on. Okay, so Sunday, you got Giants, Bears. Who do you have?
Oh shit! I'm going Bears, man. I don't trust fucking the Giants. I don't. They're wasting Barkley.
I think the Bears have it in the bag. I think that the Giants defense isn't enough to stop Allen Robinson. I don't think that the Giants O-line has improved enough to protect Daniel Jones from the vicious D line of the Bears. Rams, Eagles. Where's the set?
I'm going Rams.
Yeah, to lose
banged up. Yeah.
To lose to the Redskins in week 1. I know they had a battered up O-line. Wentz looked awful. But to lose to that D-line is pitiful. And I think the Rams D-line is going to be a hell of a lot more vicious to their O-line than the Redskins could ever hope to be. Falcons, Cowboys, Dallas. What do you think?
I'm going to go Cowboys. I don't think Falcons just have the defense. That Falcons just got ran on.
Yeah, I think that the Cowboys aren't only going to win, they're going to destroy them. And that's not a sentence I use lightly because they're awful.
Right.
Panthers, Buccaneers. This is in Tampa. I think that the high-scoring game the Panthers had last week was a fluke. I think that Tampa Bay, they aren't going to look great, but I think it's going to be a close enough game, and Tom Brady tends to show out in those close games. So I think it's going to be a very close Buccaneers win.
I agree. I got the Buccaneers in my pick'em as well.
All right, Niners, Jets. Do I even have to say it?
Yeah. We can skip that one.
Broncos, Steelers. I think I feel like the Broncos have that one. I think that the Steelers' offense looked a little shaky. I think Big Ben showed his age on Monday Night Football. The Giants were very generous to give him what they did give him, but I think that the Broncos have this on lock.
Yeah, I got the Steelers. Oh, I like Benny Snell back there. Benny Snell, they need to give him the rock more than that. Deontay Johnson and Juju Schuster-Smith looks like he might have a comeback year again. Schuster-Smith looked good.
Jaguars, Titans. I'm going to make a little bit of an out there prediction. I think the Jags are going to win.
I'm going to go Titans. I think the Titans just have the better overall team, better overall defense. But, yeah, you never know with Minshew. Minshew, guy plays with his hair on fire.
If they can – I think momentum means everything in the NFL. I think that, even the worst teams, if they get the right momentum, they can, soar to the playoffs. They can do whatever they please. Just look at the 2015 Panthers, am I right? But I think that, winning is a mentality, and I think that winning doesn't always come down to skill. I think it comes down to, who's got the hot hand, and I think the Jaguars have that right now.
Yeah,
Lions, Packers. Lions, Packers. Again, do I even need to say it?
No, I got Packers all day.
Packers all day. Bills, Dolphins. I feel like the Bills have that in the bag. I think that, the Pats Dolphins game was closer than it had any right to be last week, because that was just way too close for a team that's still that talented right now. I think I
got the Bills as well.
I think that's going to be a 2-possession win.
Yeah, they're a much better overall team, better roster.
Vikings Colts, that could be interesting. I think that's probably going to be a Vikings win.
Yeah, I don't trust Philip Rivers still. I don't. He looked his age last week, but yeah, I agree. Vikings all day.
Knowing Philip Rivers, it's probably going to be a one possession game that he blows. But but yeah, the Washington racial slurs versus your Arizona Cardinals.
Well, since I got the Cardinals going 6-0 to start the year, I'll pick the Cardinals.
I've got the Cardinals too, and I'm going to explain this a little. I think that the hype around Washington right now is entirely overblown. I think people are saying their D-line is great. They look solid against the Eagles. The combined snap count for three of the dudes on the Eagles O-line was, I want to say, 9 snaps. When you're dealing with that level of amateurism and that level of inexperience, of course you're going to tear into them. You better be tearing into them if that's what you're facing off against.
Yeah, I think they're better off with Ron Rivera though. He's a hell of a coach, and
he's a hell of a coach, but I think he's being wasted down there.
We have to watch out for Chase Young though. Chase Young's a monster.
Chase Young is the only person there that legitimately concerns me on their defense. Everybody else there just seems kind of like a non-factor to me. The Washington offense was just pitiful last week.
Yeah. When Logan Thomas
they scored.
Tight end then.
I mean, when you score 27 points, I expect you to be doing better than fucking Dwayne Haskins was during that entire game. Fucking Peyton Barber had their most rushing touchdowns. He had 17 carries for 29 yards. Pitiful.
We're gonna see old friend Logan Thomas. He's a number 1 tight end over there, and he's got a touchdown week 1. That'd be interesting.
That is so funny to me that he just accepted that he couldn't be a quarterback. That's awesome. I love that.
Good for him, though. Yeah, good for him.
He's living his life. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, go Cardinals.
Go Cardinals. After that, you got Ravens Texans. I think that the Ravens got that on lock. I think the Texans, they looked better than I thought they would last week, but I still don't think that they're good enough to stop the Ravens' dominant offense.
I'm going Baltimore and Lamar as well.
After that, you got Chiefs Chargers. I think this is going to be a closer game than a lot of people think. I do not. Well, I think that a lot of people undervalue Tyrod Taylor, and given what he's done over the past couple of seasons, I don't blame them. But I think he is a solid quarterback when it counts. I think he is a very undervalued quarterback, and I think that if there ever was a game that would be close, I think it would be that one for the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers defense is going to have to show out, but I'm still going to go Chiefs. I'll lean Chiefs.
I mean, I have no reservations towards thinking it's going to be
just
go my way.
Yeah,
but it's going to be really close, and I think that's all they can really hope for at this point. After that, Sunday night, Pats Seahawks.
That's gonna be a fucking good game.
That's gonna be a solid game. I always love games where it's like you can pit the narrative as two quarterbacks of the same play style facing off against each other, and
Where's that game at? Is that in Seattle?
Hold up, that's in Seattle.
That's gonna be a good fight.
And in the 60s and 70s, like, well, every game's a game against the quarterbacks of the same archetype. They're all pocket passers. But, I mean, nowadays it's just like you got these fucking dual threat quarterbacks, and it's so cool to have a game that's, two of those dual threat quarterbacks showing off against each other. So I think the Seahawks win this. I think it's going to be close. I think that, Cam Newton's going to put on a show against the Seahawks.
I think so as well. It's kind of a comeback party again, and I'm picking the Patriots here to nudge out the Seahawks.
After that, Monday night, and I can't looking at this week, I know why it's the Monday night game, because in comparison to everything else, it's probably better than a lot of the games, but I still can't understand why this is a Monday night game. Saints, Raiders. Any other year, this would be the Thursday night game.
Is that in Vegas though? That might be why too.
That's in Vegas.
Their first look at the new stadium. I could see that, but yeah, I'm going Saints all day.
Saints all day. I think the Raiders. I mean, they put up 35 points against the Panthers, but I think this season, given the state of the Panthers defense, I think that's probably not going to be much of a feat. I
agree.
I'm excited to see what they'll do, but I don't expect much out of them. But yeah, that's the slate of predictions. I am really excited for football on Sunday, and that is something I have not said in so many years. I'm so used to this team disappointing me. But I mean, as it stands, we're probably the talk of the league right now. Beating the Super Bowl losers at their house on week 1, that's monumental. And let's just hope that the Cardinals can keep up this momentum, because I think as it stands, the Cards have the chance to go 5-0 to open the season, which would be crazy.
Yeah, one game at a time. It's nice that we're back in the limelight, though. Everywhere you look, everyone's talking about Murray, Kyler, Hopkins, which is nice. But yeah, we need to go out there Sunday and get the job done and come home 2-0.
Absolutely.
Home, so we got to finish 2-0. Yeah.
Should we call this an episode?
Let's do it. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. This has been the Redbird Redzone. My name is Will.
My name is Max.
And we wish you